Yesterday, we had our first Luigi Swiggo update in a while. It was our second video on the channel, and I have a feeling this may become our player of choice over the next couple of months. Sometimes, every now and then, like we go in cycles where there's just like 3 weeks of we're talking about this guy every day because there's a bazillion updates with him. That's what's going on with Luigi Swiggo right now. It started as a Illinois thing. It was likely going to be Illinois for Luigi Suigo. Then we got the news yesterday that he's going to visit Purdue. Then we got the news late last night from Tipton Edits himself that there are a bunch of schools that are actively recruiting Luigi Swiggo. I speculated this a little bit in the Purdue visit video, but I think once other colleges realize this kid is really starting to take his college recruitment seriously, if he was getting texts occasionally from a few of these programs, he's going to start to get phone calls and frequent phone calls. That's what's happening. The latest list for Luigi includes Purdue and Illinois, as mentioned, but the likes of BYU, Kentucky, Louisville, and Texas A&M are also aggressively recruiting Luigi Swiggo, trying to get some visits set up. Your thoughts?
First of all, are you a Family Guy watcher?
I am familiar with the show, not an active watcher.
Are you familiar with the meme where everyone puts their hand in the middle and that one guy puts his little peg leg in the middle and they're like, no, 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 get your hand out of the pile?
I have seen the meme, yeah.
Yeah, Bucky McMillan. Go, go, go. Scoot, 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 scoot now. This isn't Bucky ball time, okay? This isn't Zach Love Day. All right, we're moving on. Um, Look, it's honestly pretty interesting to see how this unfolded because I legit remember you and I doing the first initial video, and it was really Illinois. Like no one else was really actively, getting him out for a visit, offering him, doing any of this. Now it seems that other people are trying to get in the fold. Maybe you can look at that as like Illinois had a head start, right? And they should be in a really good position because they did have a head start. Or you can look at it like this, like Illinois kind of identified him early, did what they did, but they didn't necessarily get things wrapped up maybe as quickly as they wanted to. And now the other big dogs are coming around. Now the big dogs are sniffing around. Now the guys with bags are sniffing around. And it's going to be a very interesting recruitment to see how it plays out now.
Yeah, I have some thoughts on this. First off, Luigi deserves every bit of this, right? Like as a prospect, he should get phone calls from the very, very best schools in the country. You agree?
Yeah, overwhelmingly sure.
Overwhelmingly sure. Please elaborate on that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just scarred from some of the other prospects that have done I've seen this story before.
I mean, there was a few great young international players last year. Like
And there was also a few that were, Ade Mara and Burke Buchtenzel.
Burke was a good player for Nebraska last year. Ade Mara, I'm not even trying to gas up my guy. You just keep putting me in spots to do this. He
Hmm.
was an elite rim protector, and Mick Cronin could not figure out how to use him. That's what happened.
So
Like,
an elite defensive coach couldn't figure out how to use an elite defensive center.
because the elite defensive coach was a little too stubborn or
Mm.
completely too stubborn and wouldn't put a system around a day that he needs. Like if you're gonna ask that dude to hard hedge, he will stink and not be playable. Correct. If you're gonna ask that dude to sit and drop, he's probably the best defensive center in the sport. And Ade Mara has nothing to do with Luigi Swiggo because Luigi Swiggo is shaped like Ade Mara but thinks he's James Harden. They're completely different players. So look, I don't know how good he will be. They've got some numbers that Tipton shared in his update that honestly are not as rosy as I would have thought his averages were. At the ANGT tournament earlier this year, Swiggo averaged 9 and 7 with 1.5 blocks a game. That sounds awfully Ade Mara-y. 59% from the floor, 30% from three, 78% from free throw. If he's not making threes, I think this becomes a much different prospect because he's a kid who will tell you himself his favorite part of the game is shooting threes as a 7'3" center. This video is brought to you by NBA 2KLab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well. They're one of our favorite entities in all of sports Gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game. And I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, South Carolina, bang. Oh,
Ooh,
okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
please
Bang.
lock in.
St. John's, that's New
New
York.
York.
Bang.
Where's New Jersey?
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado is.
It's in Colorado. There's a state of
Is that
Colorado.
this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
Anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college football 26. Back to the video. But I still am tantalized by what he can do and what we see on film. And I completely think like the Kentuckys and Louisvilles and BYUs getting involved in this kid makes sense. They should be doing that. If you're Luigi's advisor, you've got Purdue, Illinois, BYU, Kentucky, Louisville, and Texas A&M on the phone. You've just advised him to never pick up a phone call from Bucky McMillan again. What are your next 5 sequential steps that you're advising Luigi on?
Honestly, I think it only takes one.
Okay.
Don't come play college basketball.
Why is that the angle?
Because I think that Luigi can do what he continues to do, have the allure of him that he could be this 3-point shooter. He enters the draft as this 7'3" guy, and he probably gets drafted, I think, top 10 lottery just off his measurables and what he wants to do with skill set alone.
But do you really think coming to college hurt any international prospects' draft abilities? I think the opposite happened last year.
For bigs, yeah.
I get only Mara, but that the theory for me is going back 2 cycles ago, that international class was just not very good. Sometimes we have recruiting classes that are similar, right? Like,
Well, it's bigs in general to me. Like we saw the thing with Big Z. Like he was like the next best thing, next big thing, and he can't even find a school, or he found a school, but he's on his 3rd one.
yeah, I guess.
It's more so the bigs conversation than the guards conversation for me.
I think, like all things, it might come down to coaching, which is why I would advise on picking one of the good coaches in this list.
That's good. That's good advice.
But I don't know, like Brad Underwood's put international players into the lottery. Mark Pope's going to have a chance with Yelovich this year. Louisville with Frew this year. Like, we're going to start to see what international players look like for Matt Painter and all of these coaches. So I don't know. Maybe that's the advice we should give Luigi is wait and see how some other international prospects look for these coaches this year. But I don't know. I really don't have the skepticisms you do on coming to America at minimum. Like maybe Ade Morrow would have been drafted if he just stayed overseas. I don't know. There's a lot of guys that I think helped their stock. Nolan Traore certainly didn't help his stock not coming to college last year.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
So we'll see. Which one of these schools would scare you the most if you're Purdue and Illinois, thinking you've got an inside track?
Probably like the Kentuckys and BYUs of the world.
Yeah, but which one? Because those are 2 different things that have 2 different approaches here. Which is the scariest one that's adding themselves to the Luigi recruitment?
I think BYU.
Just because the deepest pockets?
Deepest pockets, have international prospects. Obviously, they are familiar with those. And also like I haven't found an actual quote on it, but I'm assuming Luigi wants to play in the NBA. Who's the coach that literally is like, I want to get guys in here and get them to the NBA?
We have some breaking Luigi Swiggo news right now
What?
from Joe Tipton.
Oh no, what we got?
Joe Tipton has set his next visit after Purdue, the day after Purdue. Or not Joe Tipton, excuse me, Luigi Suigo. Luigi Suigo is visiting Indiana and Darren DeVries.
Darren DeVries, what are you doing here?
We're going to have to talk about this tomorrow, but we now have an Indiana-Purdue head-to-head while we have Purdue-Illinois head-to-head while Kentucky, Louisville, and BYU try to get involved. Cart, this is my favorite prospect in college basketball history.